Hello friends and welcome back to my channel Coding GD, and in this video I am going to share my TCS interview experience that happened on May 28th, 2022. Okay, so this would be my own experience about the interview and how I got qualified for the interview and how I am selected. Okay, so all the tips and what are the questions they asked, the answers, and everything is included in this video. I hope you guys would like this video. If you like my video, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the bell button so that you will be able to get the notifications if I post more videos. Okay, so now let's get started. So first of all, I had a panel where they were the HR, the person who contacted me, like the talent acquisition, one person, and then from the technical round. So that was actually a Skype round where I was invited into a call in Skype. Okay, and here the HR started with asking me about myself. So I started off with my name, then I told my qualifications, then my current working experience, in what all technologies I worked, in which company I was working, and what was my designation. So all these things were included. Then the next thing what I told was my current qualifications. Like if we are doing some course or something of that sort, then we can definitely tell that. So I had mentioned all of that. Then about my parents, like what my parents were doing and how many people are there in my house, and all those stuff was told at last, and that was my about myself. Then they asked about me about the expected salary. So here I actually, they asked about a round figure to be told, and what was my current salary also they asked. So I just gave them a number in such a way like, what is the current salary that you require, or what is the current salary for the position that you are applying, that current salary you should be telling. Okay, the next thing is about the project. So if we are selected, to which project they will be actually allocating us. So in that sense only the next talk came about, like this would be the project that you will be working out, it will be in the city, and such things that person was talking about. Okay, and the next thing they asked was about the relocation, whether we will be able to relocate to their city or not, or whether we are uh, whether we can move out from this location to another location, or whether we can go on an on-site, and such things they were actually asking about. And that was all about the HR round. So once that was over, then it was actually handed over to the technical manager. So he came about with a lot of questions, about 15 questions. So each question with the answer that I told is being given in the next coming slides. Okay, so here in the technical round they started off with, what do you know about the React.js? So I actually told them that it is actually a component based approach which helps in building reusable UI components. It is used for developing complex and interactive web and mobile UI. So the next thing that I told was about the features of React.js. So I told them it actually uses the virtual DOM. It is used in server-side rendering, and it follows a unidirectional data flow. Then they asked me about, what do you know about the virtual DOM? So here I told them about the virtual DOM means it is actually having a real DOM, but it need not be refreshed for each change in the element. So that complete explanation on how, if an element is changed, it will actually calculate the difference between the two of the models, and then whichever is the element changed, then it would make a change to that element alone without reloading. So all the stuff I told. The next one was the limitations of React.js. So I told that it was just a library and not a fully blown framework. It is actually a very large library and is actually very difficult for the novice programmers to understand. Then coding gets complex as it uses the inline templating with along with the JSX. So all the limitations were covered. The next thing they asked was what are the different which are the different types of components in React. So as you guys know, there are two types of components in React. One is the functional based component and the other one is the class based component. So now the next question came from what do you know about the difference between a state and a props? So here the one of the main difference between a state and a props is from the state actually we cannot change the parent component value, but inside a props from the parent component we can change the value. And the next one is inside a state we can actually change the component for a state, but for a props we cannot change inside the component. And the last difference is it changes inside the child component. The props actually changes inside the child component, whereas a state will not change inside a child component. Now the next thing is about the different phases of the life cycle, React component life cycle. So here we actually talked about the three phases. One is the initial rendering, updating phase and unmounting phase. So initial rendering means it is actually a mounting stage. It actually starts off with the component's life journey and makes its way to the DOM. The next one is the functions that are included in this. So it was constructor, get, derived state, props, render and component didn't mount. Now coming to the updating phase, once the component gets added to the DOM, it can potentially update and re-render only when a prop or state change occurs. So here the functions that are included is should component update, component did update. And the last phase is the unmounting phase. This is actually a final phase of the component's life cycle in which a component is destroyed or removed from the DOM. So here the function that is actually included is component will unmount. So now the next question, what is a synthetic event? So it is actually a wrapper around the browser's native event. They actually combine the behavior of different browsers into one API. So now coming on to the next question, they asked about the pure components. Okay, so actually what is a pure component? It actually renders the same output for the same state and props. And what is an higher order component is the next question that was discussed. So an higher order component is a custom component which wrap another component within it. They can actually accept any dynamically provided child component, but they won't copy or modify any behavior from their input components. So again, there are questions. Let's move on to the next slide. Then they asked about the prop drilling, which means it is actually a process of sending a props from a higher level component to a lower level component. The next question was what is the function get derived state from props? Then what I answered was it is a method that is used when the state of a component depends on the changes of the props. And the last question was from hooks, which is like what do you know about the use effect? It allows you to perform the side effects in your component, which means it actually prevents. So, which means like we have the use effect which prevents the side effects of the component. So, what are the side effects that it will actually reduce? It will be like fetching the data, directly updating the DOM as well as the timers. And the last question was from use callback. So they actually asked me whether I have used any other React hooks, but unfortunately, I haven't used anything other than these two. So they were okay. So the last one was about the use callback. When you have a component in which the child is re-rendering again and again without any need. So that is the use callback. So with that, we actually winded up the interview session. Then that evening itself, later in the evening, I got a call from the verification team asking me to upload some of the documents to their portal. Okay, so that was all about my interview experience and my interview day. And if you guys would like to know what were the questions that I actually prepared for the interview, you can directly comment it onto my video comment box so that I can just get you back the other questions as well as the answers too. And if there is anything, do let me know. So I hope you guys like this video. So if you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the bell button. So see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.